Hey guys, I'm in my favorite imperial palace, uh, the one in Kyoto. There are so many things that are happening in Japan, at least in my head, that I'm trying to keep notes of. So this is an attempt to do that. I didn't bring my mic, but I hope that this audio is okay. I want to talk about two things so far about Japan that have affected me. I've come to realize that there's a difference between stimulation and meaning. What do I mean by that? I think that big cities like London, New York, they're very stimulating. I haven't been to New York in a while, but large parts of London to me were quite mundane, and but they were very stimulating because they had a lot of noise and junk flying around. It was hyper stimulating, but I think that one could mistake stimulation for meaning. I see that here in Kyoto because it's not very stimulating in that sense. There's very little noise. There's not so many bright lights or anything, but it's extremely meaningful because all the smaller details stand out a lot more. So yeah, I think that's something I learned, that there's some sort of people and myself included can mistake stimulation for something that's important. But you can be stimulated in the most peaceful way here. So I've been enjoying that. There's also something about the way people here are very considerate and thoughtful about objects specifically. There's a sacredness to everything, to small signs that we see over here, or a little cone. And I'm in the palace, obviously, so that's the pinnacle of consideration. But even in the smallest izakayas, the way people present their money, serve each other, especially with money, because they use like notes here, like big bank notes, but they're never really crumpled up or folded. They're always so crisp, as if they were just printed yesterday. And I think that's beautiful. I think it filters all the way from the bottom to the top. I mean, if you look at some cyclists, and there's actually a line. There's a line in the gravel. There's a line in the gravel that the cyclists will only use that line. There's one line sneaking basically throughout the whole imperial palace. In most places, like even in Oslo too, you would have people taking whatever path they choose, but here everyone would just follow the same line, and it just looks beautiful. There's one line of going through the whole thing. One last thing, there's a tree back here, and that tree is like supported and buttressed by these wooden pillars. I was thinking of doing a video about it later, like a more in-depth one. I think that's probably the most romantic tree I've ever seen, or relationship to a tree I've ever seen, because those pillars, they're not permanent. There's a tree in Oslo which is kind of like very long. One of the branches is very long, and it's held up by this metal fork, kind of like a Dali painting. And that is low maintenance. I mean, that's care for the tree, and I think that is probably the most beautiful tree in Oslo. But this is different because this is not metal, it's wood, and wood decays. So that means what is happening here is a statement. It's a statement saying that we will be here to keep replenishing these pillars. We will be here to keep fixing the wiring that holds all the branches together. We will be here for as long as the tree is here, which is possibly forever. And that statement is really, really romantic, I think. We will be here longer than any one of our careers, because there will be generations upon generations of caretakers and gardeners that will be replacing those pillars. And the fact that that tree is still the way it is meant that they have been here that whole time too. It's unreal. I've been brought up to think that maintenance is work, which it is. But now I'm not just brought up, but like just in general in the West, it's like automate things. It's my line of work as well. Automate things, stop the maintenance, just let things run. But this is leading into maintenance. It's maintenance as a way of thinking and being proud of it. So it's really incredible. I'm a weeb. I think I'm a weeb. See you guys, and just shout out to Rob, who brought me to Japan for the first time in 2008 actually. So yeah, thanks Rob, and peace.